Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Side Jag. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a bunch of things, one of them being Avatar, the new series on Netflix, and not that cartoon version. It's got live action people. Oh my gosh.
Real people.
How are you doing, my friend?
Unless I had to admit something.
What?
I didn't watch the episode, man.
You didn't watch any of it?
No.
Wow.
I got so busy, but this just means I get to hear Dean explain his thoughts on the first episode.
Dude, I watched the whole thing.
You watched the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing. It was fantastic.
Well, that's a good sign then.
Yeah. So I guess the easiest thing to start out with, just to get it out of the way, was did you ever watch the cartoon?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did you like the cartoon?
Yeah, I thought the cartoon was great.
Did you see the movie that they made?
Movie, not so great.
Movie was terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
So the cartoon. So after they made the movie, the first thing everyone said was, "Why did you just not make the same thing as the cartoon? Because the cartoon was great. Like,
Right, yeah.
Like the cartoon made sense. It was a bit slow and cartoony, but I mean the story was fantastic. Like it just walked you right through everything you needed to know, and boom, 3 seasons of it, and everything was great.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's a movie. We have to be different.
I think it was M. Night Shyamalan or someone like that too.
Yeah, it was so typical stupid.
That was just like gonna be bad from the get-go.
Yeah. So if for any of you out there that never watched the animated series, I strongly recommend watching the animated series before you watch the live. I mean, it doesn't matter, but
does it go through the same stuff? Does it let you know all the same
information? Dude, so what they did is everything that they very intently watched the animated series and picked out like pieces of the animated series that needed to be told in this series. But what they didn't do is there were some things like chronologically that in live action didn't make sense as well as it would have in a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like in a cartoon, you can easily go, hey, we need to do this outlandish shit. Let's do it. Whereas in live action, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. So for the most part, they were taking like 3 or 4 episodes of the cartoon and so it might be like 2 episodes from season 1 and 1 episode from season 3. Right. But you needed that information from season 3 in that episode to have it make more sense.
So theoretically it could be better than if it's filling in the gaps.
It is. Oh, it is. Everything that they put in there, again, the nice thing about making a movie is that, or a series as this were, it's real easy to film it and go, that didn't work, and throw it away, or reshoot, as it were. Whereas in a comic, it's not, it's like years of drawing and animation, and then go, ooh, that plot line kind of sucks.
Right.
Yeah. Let's throw that away. No, let's not. We're gonna have to use that. So from that perspective, clearly making the series, they had the great cartoon to choose to get their information from. So they kept it, like season 1, but they weren't afraid to jump outside of the lines to have it make more sense. So that
the information you needed, like this would not make sense without this information you're getting in season 3.
Yeah. So like the whole series starts out with information we didn't learn in the animated series until season 3.
Right.
But in a live action, you can't do that. We need to know what we're sitting down to.
Right.
So, some of the shots were frame for frame the cartoon.
Wow.
Like, because they were just so good, there was no reason to change it. It's like they storyboarded it and it worked. Let's just do that.
Well, I feel the first season of The Last Airbender was the best season to me, anyways. So I figured like they'd be set up. If they stick with the show, then they'd be set up for success.
Yeah. So the story makes sense. Like you're watching it and it's like, oh, I remember this. Oh, I kind of remember that. The characters, the people they got to play the characters, like are good.
Right.
You know, it's always hard to get a kid to do what you want them to. 90% subtitles on Shogun. Oh, that sucks. I guess I won't be watching that because I can't do 90.
What's that?
Shogun. Shogun is the remake of the original Shogun from the 80s.
Listen, you already know I live with subtitles anyway, so
yeah, it's a new series on FS. It's about the time, and we're gonna jump here. That's why it's called Sidejag. It's about the time when Japan was on landlock and they didn't accept any foreigners into the country, and this American ship crashes or breaks, whatever, in Japan, and it's a story of them taking in this American or European or something, and just how he interacts in the society. It was a good show back in the 80s, you know, when I was a kid, but I'm sure they've made it more fun.
Well, if it's not on streaming, I'm not going to see it at all.
I watch a ton of anime. I enjoy anime a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm picky with my anime. But no, I watch a decent amount of anime. Don't ask me what I've watched because none of it makes any sense. But I mean, last week at the end of the show, we talked about the Blue Eye Samurai. You know, that was really good. But I can't do subtitles. So even if anime is in subtitles, I just move on to the next one because there's so much of it.
Right.
I just find something else I like.
You're not trying to watch every episode of One Piece. I think they have like over 1,000 episodes or something.
Yeah, I don't have to do Full Metal Alchemist.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, to sum it up, I mean, not taking away anything from because I'm not going to give it away, but it's all given away.
Yeah, I already know. Like I watched this, so unless they change something, I know.
No. So the character, you know, and there again, the characters that they picked are good.
Wait, how is Korra? She was my favorite character.
Is that the girl?
Yeah.
I know it sucks. I don't ever remember their names.
She's good. I really do too. That's the one. Like that was my favorite character in the whole series.
So the sister,
right? Yeah.
Aang's love interest at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, she's good. She's good. She's you know, and there again, they modernized her a little bit. She's a little bit more, you know, today's woman. Like I'm not going to take your shit.
Yeah, I felt like she was kind of like that too, though, back then.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She was. She seems a little younger in this than she did in the original. So, you know,
what was there again in the original? Were they supposed to be like 10, 11, 12-ish something?
I have no idea. You know, the thing is, you know, the style that they drew the original series in.
Yeah.
Like the brother looks right on. Like he's got a long skinny head and he fits the character perfect. So there again, they got them to act very much like the original cartoon characters. Obviously they can't, you know, they have to act. Right. So the kid that plays Aang, I don't know what else he's been in, but clearly he doesn't have a ton of experience acting.
Right.
And so there are some things where it's just like it's kind of annoying, but then also Aang was annoying in that first season.
That's why he wasn't like he's the airbender, right? So he's the powerful one, but he was just kind of a petulant child.
In the first season, he was just kind of annoying. He doesn't really come into it until after that first big battle when he has to grow up and realize like, oh shit, people are counting on me. I need to.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they probably aged him up just from what I've seen in the previews and stuff, because I'm thinking, I don't know the exact timeline of the cartoon, but I feel like when they started, they were somewhere between 10 and 12. And then towards the end of it, they were like late teens. You know, they weren't.
Yeah.
They may have been like
12.
He's still 12.
He was older than him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And he's like, as the third season goes on, he's somewhere in the age of like 17-ish.
Yeah.
I think 16, 17 maybe.
Yeah.
He's still a teenager. Like he's still a young kid, but not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely, you know, there again, I feel they did a really good job of capturing everything we liked about Airbender.
Yeah.
And putting it on. Like the uncle the uncle.
Who's the uncle? Like, is he a famous or he's a no name?
No, he's not anybody famous, but dude, he's freaking amazing. Like he nailed it.
Really?
Like,
yeah, the uncle was like in a cartoon. He was so over the top cartoon character in the cartoon.
Right. Well, he was perfect. Yeah,
Right.
and that was the dude. That was the crazy guy from Conan the Barbarian that played him in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But this guy, dude, beard, face, mannerisms, like it was like, how the hell did you find the cartoon character? Yeah. Like, good job. But he's like, dude, the whole relationship between him and the son, it's perfect. It's like shit. Literally, they had what's that?
Did they get into the first season? Doesn't get into the firebenders, really, does it? Or
yeah. Well, that was some of the things they changed.
Okay, all right.
Because they start with the war, and then literally the first episode is them wiping out all the airbenders.
Oh, which I think that might have been. Yeah, that was like that in the cartoon, right?
Well, in the cartoon, they told the story of it. They didn't actually show it until season 3. And you literally meet the guy Quasi or whatever the hell he is, the guy that kills all the airbenders, and put and Aang goes into his whole ice cube state where he sits for 100 years.
Right.
That's the first like half hour of the first episode is literally just like, boom, here's what happened, and you're just like, oh shit,
like, oh damn.
But that's the difference between a cartoon and live action. Live action, we have to have this grounding, and I think a lot of people that weren't into Airbender needed that to understand what is happening.
Yeah, in a live action, you can't say it; you need to show it.
Right, right. So they did work in the history lesson later on in the later on. There's this old lady in Kara's village that kind of goes over and kind of like says it, but more to help Aang of what has happened over the last 100 years. Right. He has no idea. I like I said, I think he's like 12.
Yeah.
So he went in an ice state for 100 years at 12, popped out, and now he's supposed to be this dude.
Right.
But he's been gone for 100 years.
And he was a kid. He was a kid to begin with, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So
what always frustrated me about the last Airbender is the fact that the Airbenders got taken out by the Fire Kingdom or whatever they call them.
Yeah,
it's like the Airbenders are supposed to be the most powerful, right? But they were like easily wiped out by that.
So the reason why they were wiped out was that there's a comet that comes around once every 100 years.
Yeah,
and the night that they attacked was the night of the comet. And that comet gives the fire people more power.
So see, I forgot that from the cartoon then.
So like,
yeah,
they literally were able to, the firebenders were able to fly. That's how much more powerful they had. They could shoot fire out of their bodies and literally shot up to the airbender temples, like rocket ships, which that was the only time we saw that. Like no one else has been able to do that.
Right.
So that's the reason why they kicked the airbenders' asses is at that point.
They were juicing.
Mm-hmm. Bro, they were on nitrous, man.
Mm-hmm.
They totally Fast and Furious that bitch. But there again, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I mean, I saw how they beat him, because they show the whole battle there and they show them how they beat him. Because for a while there, you're like, these guys don't stand a chance. They just blow the fire away. But they were outgunned,
right?
Because nothing the airbenders are doing is designed to kill you,
right? Yeah,
because they're a peaceful people. They're just so,
yeah, they're kind of a defensive.
And Aang even says that in the thing. He's like, our stuff is for defense,
right? Yeah,
we're not here to we're peaceful people. Our art is to defend ourselves, not engage.
And it's all like the way the whole cartoon is set up. It's it's all different forms of martial arts. So
yeah, and so
they have their own philosophies with that.
So we meet they go to the island to meet the one avatar that had like the painted orange eyes and the green and did the fans.
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of the best episodes. Like
that would be cool to see in live action if when they pull it
oh,
off.
Dude, it's so good. Like because they're in trouble, and he's talking with her, in the Avatar state.
Yeah.
And she's like, she takes control of his body. And oh dude, it was this awesome fight scene, and like it was really good. Like as I'm saying, the show it's a fantastic show. I mean, they're gonna do great with it. If you're an Avatar fan, you won't.
How long are the episodes?
I think they're like 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
I mean, it's on the list. I'm gonna watch it regardless, so I'm sure we'll be talking about it more.
Yeah. Oh no, because I'm curious to see what you think about it as far as like.
From what you're saying, that because I like the cartoon, didn't like the movie. I feel like we're on the same page with that, so I suspect that I'm gonna like this if you liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I went into it kind of leery because like the movie sucked,
right?
And then like I was watching Aang, and Aang is irritating, and I forgot how irritating he was in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Because there again, the last season we watched of that was season 3, so that's obviously fresher in your mind. And by the time he got to the end of the series, he was a much more manageable person, not like this guy that just popped out. And you can kind of understand where he's at.
Yeah, he's not mature when he comes out, and I guess they're trying to show that. It's like I think they mean for you in a cartoon to be frustrated. Because they're like the desperation of every other character counting, like, we need you.
Right.
We cannot do this without you.
And that's so much different in a live.
Yeah.
Because that frustration is there, and it's just so much different when it's live action as opposed to a cartoon.
Right, yeah.
Because cartoon is 23 minutes long, and it's over, and then you're on to the next one. But yeah, it's in there again. You also sit there and you're like, come on, man. I know you got it in you. Go do it.
Yeah. I feel like people that watch the cartoons probably be less frustrated than people that never. Because we're like, what the hell's this kid doing?
Right. Well, and that's the thing. That was it ended. It ended with him realizing, like, oh shit, I really have to, like, man, people are depending on me, and I don't want to let them down. Because a lot of people died today, and it's my fault. And it's like, no, it's really not your fault, but your job is to prevent this shit. So, and you're not holding up your end of the bargain. So.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly in the cartoon, basically, like, a lot of people were sacrificed trying to make sure that he reached the greatness he needed to reach. Is it what it ended up being?
Well, and there again, they killed all the airbenders.
Right. So. Well, I'm talking about the little skirmishes in between.
Oh, well, right now everything is desperation because the Fire Lord has control over it, just kicking everybody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just out of desperation. Like people just, he doesn't know what to do. And so he's figuring it out, and it's just like, so business casual of you.
I did. I commented on our post, so I had the collar shirt, so we're ready to roll.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Well, he's a golfer, bro. He's got his Nike golf shirt on.
That's why I kept looking at my phone, because on one of those apps I had a private stream, and I had a 1 in 10 chance in getting a $500 putter. I didn't win though. Otherwise, you would have seen a little more excitement.
So you're trying to buy it?
Trying to win it.
Oh.
I pre-ordered another one, so that got you into a private stream to try to win one. But hey, that's how it goes.
I mean, hey, good putter, wedge, an iron, a wood.
You're literally in probably the biggest golf state in the United States.
Yeah, which is funny because golf doesn't do so well here.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually, are you by, no, you're not by Doral, are you? Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. So one of the things they do fun out here on some of the golf courses is they do soccer golf.
That'd be cool. I thought about
So
doing disc golf.
we have a lot of those too, but they're not on golf courses. They're in their own little areas.
That's
So
how we have a golf course, and then we have in the same where we took the kicker truck to play music.
Yeah,
the golf course there in the back, which you didn't see, but then there's also a disc golf course on the left or on the east side of it.
Yeah, all our disc golfs are in like little forest areas.
Yeah, that's how this
Yeah,
is.
which I guess is just part of it. You want it to be difficult.
I mean, it seems like it'd be kind of fun. They have different weights and distances that you can throw certain ones.
You know, okay, so listen, the idea of golf to me is like the dumbest thing ever. You know, like the whole concept behind it makes no sense to me at all. The fun that you guys have from it is it's like, okay, adding a frisbee to that doesn't help.
Well, listen to truly the fun part about golf is hanging out with your buddies, drinking a few beers, and talking shit. Like talking shit's the funnest part. That's the funnest part.
Listen, totally understand that part of it, but there's always that one time where the guy goes, "I'm gonna go out and hit some balls," you know, at the driving range, and you're trying to get better.
Yeah.
And you're just like I've been to Topgolf, and I get the concept, but you know, there's no skill whatsoever in my ability to play at Topgolf. I just want to hit the ball into the farthest thing over there and get the most points possible.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, 9 times out of 10, I'm headed that way, and it's slicing way the fuck over there.
And I feel like everybody that I play with had played baseball or something in their early teen years. So I feel like it's the same swing, but you're just modifying a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now we do have a new guy that's playing with us that never played any sports, and he is struggling. But we're trying to get him there. So.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I just like being outside, so it's a nice outside activity. You do
I get it.
I'm definitely not going to run. I'm the same way with running. Like, why would I run when I could just?
Oh, for sure. And there again, it's all the same. It's all the same. We all have those things that we do that only work for us.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I feel it's similar in the sense that it's nice to be outside and like just be not trapped inside of a building for a minute.
He's the duff of
Oh, that's funny. I like that.
Yeah, it was a good move.
That's 100% the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, who has
Happy Gilmore swing?
I mean, if anybody's been to Topgolf has tried it, unless you're on the top deck and you're being careful.
Why are you on the top deck trying to be careful?
Because you fall off if you're doing a happy swing.
Yeah, they got the nets.
Dude, I've seen videos. So I have a bunch of Instagram videos for golf stuff, and it's people falling off the top deck at Topgolf. Hilarious.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I'm
yeah.
Like, I just want to get as most points possible. So,
dude,
I think the funniest one at Topgolf is they have Angry Birds.
Yeah,
and
Topgolf
you're like,
fun, but it's expensive as hell.
Oh, it's so expensive.
Jesus, they have This is going to segue perfectly into what I want to talk about. Let me see this. Yeah, I think I've seen that one as well. So there is it's not a Topgolf. They switched it to Golf Quest is what they call it. So they must have not been out of business and someone else bought it because we went to the fucking melting pot. Like hashtag, did you see my post?
Oh yeah, Haley pointed it out to me.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, so if you go, anybody that's forced to go to the melting pot, only get the cheese fondue and the chocolate. Like, don't get the mains. Like, none of that. Literally, I will shout out one thing. The shrimp was very good, but I had to cook it myself. I liked the shrimp. That was literally the best thing. The steak was terrible. The chicken was not great.
I mean, how is it going to be good? You're boiling it in shit.
I know. You can get a grill, I guess, but I just for what it cost.
Oh,
it was like, I mean, it was obscene, an obscene amount of money for what you get. I think it was for the two of us, and then we had the worst service ever, and a 20
really?
yes, and a 20% tip on what we paid. It was like $32. So it was like I paid 32. I paid more than I would pay for a whole meal as a tip to someone who was a terrible server.
Right.
It's like, what?
Wow.
And I didn't even really have food I liked.
No, it's the worst.
The bread was good, like the bread and the cheese. So you get the cheese with the bread and none of the vegetables were great in there. Even the broccoli wasn't good in the cheese, but the bread and the cheese was very good. We got the charcuterie board add-on.
Oh,
So we had a bunch of meats and cheeses to put in, stuff to do in there. That was good. Better
yeah,
than
but that's like $35.
Yeah, it was well, we did so you can do a meal for two, and you get a $32 for the tip, just for the tip. So here's what we got: $120 for two people. You get a fondue for two. You each get a salad. Salad was horrible. Salad was terrible.
Lettuce in a bowl.
Yeah, and I got the spinach one, and I like spinach salad, and it was not good. And then you get a main. You each get to pick a main, and then you get the dessert. And then we added the charcuterie board, which was 15, and then we added the dessert dippers, which is another 15. So you get like a cream puffs, a cheese instead of the regular desserts. You get a cheesecake and other things you can put in there, right? So we're already there. Like, hey, let's just, and this is at the beginning before I knew everything was going to suck. Like, hey, we're here. Let's just spend some money. We drove 2 hours
take it all in
to get there. Yeah, well, that could be the case, but I'm never going back to find out how to do it right.
I'm with you. I thought it was funny because, I was like, hey, we're going to be out there. Maybe we should go do that. And I thought about it for a minute. I go, no, it's expensive and it sucks.
Right.
Like, plus we don't have time for that shit. So I didn't bring it up. And then you came on and you were like, this was shit, like Dean said. And I was like, okay, good. I'm glad I stuck to my guns on this one and just had the internal dialogue of going. I mean, they love this place. And I'm just like, this place, every time I go there, I'm like, this sucks.
You want to know what? You know what sucks worse is I think Bailey and I remembered it differently, like it was going to be good, or that we messed something up. And it's like, dude, this place is just not good. Like, I was
going to say, I'm pretty sure that it'll never. Yeah, it has always sucked. It's like, even like we've been there a couple times with friends and shit like that, and it's like you're going for the friend experience, and it's like,
when it's like you have to time your stuff, and they get like you can scan the thing and it'll do a time. It's like, dude,
I almost think a vegetarian option would be better, to where I don't have any of the meat. Like, just skip the whole meat section.
They do have that. They have a vegetarian option.
Ooh, I like your question. I have a question. Do you think there is some conspiracy on Dune 2 release getting a 10 out of 10? I feel like the facade.
Dude, I just realized that was out this week. I mean, as bad as the first Dune was and the way they ended it, I still kind of enjoyed it just because I enjoy like the world of Dune.
Yeah.
So I have some excitement about 2, but I have not watched it yet.
I have zero excitement about 2. It's like, it's not even on my list of things I give 2 shits about. And there's no way it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
They did have the director on Terry Gross's show yesterday.
Yeah,
and he was talking
or something like that.
Yeah, Fresh Air. They were interviewing him. I didn't get to stay for the whole thing. I really wanted to, just because I wanted to get his take on it. He's the guy that directed Sicario, and a couple other shows that are like,
Yeah.
it's like, like Sicario, the first Sicario was everyone just loved Sicario. Oh my god, and I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't have strong feelings about it either way.
No, it's okay. It was a good popcorn movie, and like, you know, did they do some? I guess when you just do some shit in a movie that's just like, bro, he just like blew that guy away in like broad daylight. It's like, yeah, but it's a movie.
It's like the John Wick effect. Like the first John Wick, I was like, oh damn, like,
Yeah,
cool. But then I saw part of the second, I was like,
it's the same movie.
It's the same movie. Which I guess it you know, like Charles Bronson, all his movies,
They're all the same.
they're all the same, and people love them, and I think maybe it's the same kind of thing.
Well, dude, it's the same as freaking.
No way. That's absurd. That's like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's no.
It's the masterpiece of Shawshank Redemption.
Like I'm excited for Dune 2, and I feel like the best it could be is a 7 out of 10.
I feel the best. Okay, that's high, but yeah, it's like Fast and Furious. People just keep going with that nonsense. Right. I watched it. It was meh. I still have the original Dune signed into my singed into my memory, so it didn't achieve holding their interest because no, and that's the problem. The first one though was not great. It was definitely something we hadn't seen.
Yeah.
A story like that up until, you know, like we've seen Star Trek, we've seen Star Wars, we've seen some bubblegum, you know, space shit. But to see something on a scale like Dune, you know, because Dune was like a really bad Star Wars, you know, it was big and it had shit that you needed to follow and plot lines that were suggested as opposed to visuals. And so it was like, you know, they always referred to Dune as a thinking person's movie because, you know, you just couldn't come in halfway, sit down and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, watch this shit blow up. You know, you had to like pay attention to the subtleties of the movie. And it was like, I always love that because it's like, what subtleties? It's a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like if I miss something, I'm gonna rewind it. But
you get more out of that in a series. Like Game of Thrones was like that. And I would listen to an accompanying podcast that they would analyze it like crazy.
They would explain shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they would say, oh, you know, we actually read the book and this ties into this. And what they didn't show you this, but actually in the background, this is what's happening.
Right.
So when I had that, it was great. Like if I watched all of Game of Thrones without that, I don't think that I would have liked it as much.
Well, I didn't know any of that. I enjoyed it. So
well, that's good.
You know, and there again, I feel like when you know, at some point I got to the point where I'm watching a movie and going, if I got to know a bunch of backstory shit, I don't want to watch this because it's just dumb. Like, just tell me a story that I don't necessarily like Marvel's headed in that direction where it's like, oh, you didn't see Miss Marvel's? Or the Marvels? Or you didn't watch Marvel the Teenage Girl?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're not gonna
know that show sucked, guys. That's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, it sucked.
I watched 3 episodes. I force fed myself 3 episodes and was like,
yeah. And I was like, I can't get past this shit because it's so bad. Yeah. And then it's like we made this movie. Why? Is
that out yet? That's been out, right? Is it out for video on demand or what?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I watched it on the cruise ship and I was just like, this is so bad. I'm glad it's included in the price of my cruise ship because fuck, this is just the worst.
I'm so glad at one point I felt like I was very invested in Marvel, but I'm not. The one thing that still got me is Fast and the Furious. That's the coldest part of the whole thing is I hated 10. When 11 comes out, I'm going to movie theaters and watching it, and I'll probably hate it as well. But
so there's a what's Dom's name? What's the guy?
Toretto, Dominic Toretto.
No, it was real name.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel is being accused of sexual misconduct.
Oh, I didn't hear this.
Yeah, so during like one of our episode 5, he hired an assistant, and for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
apparently during this period of 2 weeks, she's accusing him of some kind of misdeed.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, okay, like that was 20 years ago, whatever.
All right.
And so I guess it was like they're not firing him from the series
Right.
because
He
who
is
knows,
serious,
you know,
basically.
you know, yeah, exactly. It's like, listen, I don't care what he did. If you want to throw him in jail for the rest of his life, could we at least just finish this movie and then throw him in jail? Because
Yeah.
whatever. And there again, who knows if he did it? Because we all know that
Right.
it's like everyone is like guilty until proven innocent. So
Yeah, and with that, with like,
as Johnny Depp proved, that
right.
isn't always the case.
Well, we've kind of overcorrected, like for a long time, no one was listening to anything any woman said.
Yeah.
And I feel like at some point we maybe overcorrected. Maybe we're going back to a more balance, but who knows?
I want to go see Madam Web too, but there again, my wanting to go see it is walking out to my living room, pressing play.
Wait, what's Madam Web? I haven't even kept track.
So there's all these filler movies that have to be made. Plus, Sony is also trying to really lean into Spider-Man. Finally, after all these years, they're making movies that don't necessarily have Spider-Man in it.
Yeah.
Which is like, the other movies we've been getting recently, like the vampire one, and then we're getting Kraven the Hunter, and which is cool. Like I'm digging it. It's like, at some point we're gonna get a Guardians of the Galaxy from those guys, where it's like no one expected it to do shit, and it turned out to be one of the best things that has ever come out of that camp.
Right.
Because let's be honest, all three Guardians of the Galaxy, probably other than the original Iron Man and one of the original Spider-Mans, was the best 3-movie arc ever for them. They just really impressed the shit out of us.
From a guy that fired and brought back for the third one.
Yeah.
Who got canceled for some tweets.
Yeah, and is now in charge of everything DC.
Right. Which he cannot save.
He'll give it a go. But anyways, Madam Web is this being, she starts out human apparently, but she has powers and she's gonna go blind, and she's like the the web of destiny.
Oh.
She's the person behind all of this. So she's like, think of like Professor X, but in a Spider-Man situation, and way more creepy.
Do they have? So what I always hate is when they start bringing the most powerful characters in, and it's like, okay, Thanos was like, he literally could fight the Hulk straight up. He didn't need to be juiced with the jewels or anything, and he could fight the Hulk straight up.
Well, yeah, because Thanos is a celestial,
right?
So,
but, like so they defeated Thanos kind of, but like at some point you run into the Superman problem. Like, who's gonna beat Superman? Another Superman,
right?
And then you have like people like the Silver Surfer that pop up, and he's.
I mean, look at Thor. I mean, look at Thor. Thor's a god,
right? Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what? But it took another god to poke his eye out.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so he's a god, but he got his eye poked out by another god, but like he can kick Thanos' ass because by default he can kick the Hulk's ass, so therefore he can kick Thanos' ass. Right. Or is it just going to be one of those things where we're just punching concrete and not getting anywhere?
Then you have the guy that was Thanos, so above Thanos, which is whatever that being was.
The giant.
Yeah, the giant thing.
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah, DC does suck.
And there again, they're and the problem is Batman. The problem is Batman. Okay.
I think the problem is Superman.
No, I don't think the problem is Superman, because they've already had good Superman, and they just need to walk away from it. Because
that's why problem Superman is the problem from my perspective, is because he's too powerful. Like no one can defeat Superman besides someone from Superman's planet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the thing. Well, as long as he flat ass kicking, I can't keep up. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But okay, so I get what you're saying with Superman because
Yeah.
there again, when he fought Lex Luthor, it was a different battle. It was a battle of wits.
Right.
So that's a more level playing field for him.
Right.
Okay, because now he might be the strongest person in the world, but now he's going up against a super genius. How do you beat a super genius?
Right.
Because if you're not a super genius, and then we saw him struggle, right? He figured it out. That's where kryptonite came in. So there again, there's a way to beat him.
Right.
But the problem is the reason why I say the problem is Batman is because Batman is the omnipotent being. Okay, Batman can be whatever you want Batman to be. Okay, if you want Batman to be the smartest guy in the room, he's the smartest guy in the room. If you want to be the handsomest guy in the room, he's the handsomest guy in the room. If you want to be the strongest person in the room and kick Superman's ass, he's that guy because he can do it. He found out about the fucking green rocks, and he kicked his ass.
Right.
And it's like, oh shit. So. But we keep getting this shitty version of Batman.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is the cartoon better? Like, how do you make this Batman cartoon that is so much better than anything we can have live action? Like,
that's why I like Robert Pattinson Batman.
Yes.
Because he's fallible. He's not always the strongest, but he's got a lot of heart.
He's the young Batman.
Yeah, and he's the detective Batman, which is the Batman I like the best.
Yes, the detective Batman is the best, and the fact that we're getting a young Batman, is even better because though I feel like Michael Keaton played the best Batman,
right?
For his time, and I really liked him in The Flash. I thought that was great. Dude, the only thing that saved the Flash was Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
But I we're never gonna get that. Like Robert Pattinson, what are we gonna do with him next? Like we've already seen him be this fallible guy that needs to learn, but we know where he's going.
Yeah.
He's gonna become perfect.
Yeah.
He's gonna become vengeance. And it's like, okay. Like, is that going to be entertaining? Do we care? No.
It depends on what path they take, because they could show like the folly of his vengeance plot, the downfall of him, and the next movie.
Yeah, but nobody wants to see Batman get his ass kicked. We all love him no matter what, and no one wants to see the guy, our hero, the good guy, get dealt with.
That would be the twist, though. Like if the Joker, who we know is obviously coming up, or no, who was the bad guy in this one? What was the Robert Pattinson? It wasn't the Joker.
No, it wasn't the
It
Joker.
Was I can't remember what it was, but you hear the Joker
people. Yes, yeah. It was his disciples.
But like, imagine the twist on that. Like, hey, the end of the second one, he's been dealt a blow, and we don't know what Batman he's going to be, and then but they have to have him drop close.
But see, there again, that falls into that same thing I was saying. Okay, so now he's this Batman.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yay. Because we've seen so many versions of him that have sucked.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the only interesting character DC has to me was Batman, because he is the Batman, or Iron Man was the boring Batman before Marvel became what Marvel is now.
Before we got Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
Because let's be honest, we all loved Iron Man because Robert Downey Jr. did
no one give a shit about Iron Man before.
No. He did such an amazing job of making us love that character.
Yeah.
Sure. And you did. It's like, God, even Iron Man 3, which was not that good.
Yeah.
We were all down for it because it was like, you know what? This isn't that good, but damn, I'm still going to watch it because he's doing such a good job. And
right.
We got to see Pepper Potts again. Let's be honest. Everyone, come on.
Well, like when you really think about it, Iron Man's a piece of shit. And so was Robert Downey Jr. playing him, but he's just so likable. It's like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but he doesn't really mean it. Like he doesn't mean it like that.
No, well, I mean, dude, there again, he's trying to save the world.
Right? Yeah.
You know, he has a god complex that is trying to save the world, and he's going to do whatever it takes to try to save the world, and he has the means to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and as his character grew through the series, that thing became more obvious that it was like, I can't do this. This is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is no way to stop this. Like when he came, you know, when he was in the Avengers and, you know, he thought he was going to die. And, you know, finally, you know, she found him, Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel found him and brought him home. You know, that scene in the hospital, he was like, I'm out. Like, screw this shit. Like, you know what? He's dead. Cool. The world sucks. I don't care. I'm going to go live in a log cabin where no one can screw with me. And it's like he did what most of us would do that were in his stage, where it's like, I've done all that I can to save the world. Okay. It's in an okay place right now. I'm retiring.
Exactly.
You
Like,
know?
whatever the situation I'm in, like my storyline never goes superhero. Like, 'cause if I get that much money, like either you're not going to hear from me, or I mean, listen, man, you get money and power, it's very easy to go super villain.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there again, it's always the compass, right?
Yeah.
You know, the difference, and to be honest, the difference between a supervillain and a superhero is just perspective.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you look at Wachovia or whatever it was, you know, technically the heroes were also partly villains, you know, because they caused some of the issues that were there. You know, they created Ultron.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, they're the good guys that have come to fix their fuck up. No, you fucked up.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
like the whole Infinity War. I mean, Thanos was right. Hashtag Thanos was right.
oh, he's totally right. But there again, perspective was, you know, oh, no one can die. Well, everybody, yeah, it's gonna happen, bro. You know, people are gonna die. You know, he's trying to, but you know, just next time wipe them all off.
Exactly.
You know, but there again, it's a good idea. He was a dick.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know.
And
Did you watch anything at all this week?
dude, so I watched something several weeks or maybe a month ago that I didn't mention. It is a the girl from God, I can't think of the movie where they go around to the parties. It's got McLovin in it. You know which one I'm talking about?
No.
Anyways, let me look up her name because it's gonna drive me crazy if I don't.
Yes.
Let's see what it is. The movie's called Poor Things.
Okay.
And geez, it's gonna make me do
Oh, excuse me.
different things. Boost it and post.
Always.
Emma Stone.
Okay. Emma Stone.
Emma Stone is a Frankenstein type character.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's the movie's super bad. Thank you, Cassie. So she is a Frankenstein type character who is created by kind of a mad scientist. So it's a Frankenstein type movie.
Okay.
But let me just tell you this, I have never in my life seen a weirder movie ever. This movie was not good at all. We went and seen it in the movie theaters, and it was just, I mean, I don't even know what to say about this movie. What ended up happening is she's a Frankenstein character, and you'll never want to see this, so I'm just going to explain the movie to you.
Yeah, go for it.
The guy picks a woman that committed suicide with a baby. She had a baby, committed suicide. He takes her out of the lake. She's brain dead. He takes the baby out, takes the baby's brain, puts it in the woman that killed herself.
Okay.
Life. So now you got a full-grown woman, Emma Stone, baby brain. He's teaching her like just basic stuff, how to walk, how to do all these things. Brings in a young upcoming assistant of his because he's the one doing they have the big stadiums doing autopsies and stuff. So he's helping with her, falls in love with her. She ends up getting betrothed to him.
It's Emma Stone. I mean, yeah.
Right. So at this point, and in the meantime, she's like in the morgue, like stabbing the shit out of eyes with a scalpel because she's a kid, you know.
Right.
And he's like the mad scientist, like, no, you can't stab the live ones. You have to do only the dead ones. So that's just a weird aside. Anyway, she's very rapidly becoming smart, I would say, or aware of her surroundings. She decides to, they're trying to get the will or something wrote up. A lawyer, they bring him in. He sees her. The lawyer offers to take her on a trip around the country because he's a sleazeball, right? And he's trying to hook up. Well, hookups they did. And also, on top of this, like, full nudity. Emma Stone, full nudity in this, which I did not expect.
Well, at least somebody that could have been Emma Stone.
Right. And I think it was legit, like bush and everything. Anyway, she goes and travels with this dude, ends up becoming a hooker in Paris, comes back because Frankenstein is dying. I don't even remember his name, but he's Dr. Frankenstein. Yeah. And ends up marrying the guy at the end. It is just like so. I don't even know how to explain the movie. It was just weird. It was weird, and there was a lot of nudity in that movie, to be honest. And I'm not a prude, you know, but it was just, yeah.
Everybody was naked.
I was not prepared for it. And the guy that took her, the sleazeball, which is funny, the sleazeball lawyer, Mark Ruffalo.
Oh.
So he's the one banging her out at the beginning.
Okay. I saw a trailer of this movie, and I was like, Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo?
You've seen as much as you want to.
Yeah, I mean, just you explaining it to me. I was never a fan of the Frankenstein idea.
Yeah.
Like there was a movie called I, Frankenstein.
I don't really remember that.
Yeah, and it was so bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I get it.
No, Cassie, it is not worth a watch. It is, unless you want to see Emma Stone nude, then it is. Yes, this is it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, whatever works for you. I'm not going to judge. Go for it.
Like, you know, imagine a baby that's not raised up in traditional, so you know none of the social rules or cues or anything like that.
Right.
You know, when she gets to teenage mind level, you know, at that level you discover your body. So there's a scene in there where she's at the kitchen table right before dinner, just going wild. She's going wild. And they have to tell her that you can't do that in polite public.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I guess you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. I said nudity is nudity. Yeah.
I mean, what else would it be?
So it's like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, for sure. But I felt like we were already there. I've never walked out on a movie that I can remember. This one was close. I considered it.
I'm looking at, you know, movies obviously to watch. And there's really nothing good, you know. But what just popped up is there was a show called Code 8, a movie called Code 8, where like people with superpowers were like prosecuted and you couldn't use your powers and all this shit.
Yeah.
And so now there's a Code 8 Part 2, because I think this was out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years ago. And they finally got around to making a Part 2 version of it. So that's there's one movie that I wanted to watch that I totally missed. It's called My Brother's Son. It's the tale of a Yakuza family where one brother is in the Yakuza and the other brother is totally oblivious to the fact that their parents, their family is the in the.
But they live in the same house.
No, like he's in college and doing all that shit, and they like he didn't know his mom is like the head of the Yakuza clan and all this other crap. And I watched the trailer for it the other day, and I was like, this actually looks pretty good.
Is there sword fighting in it?
I think there's a little bit of everything in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
It's not dubbed because it's like good actors, or the star, the girl that starred, the lady that stars in it has been in a ton of stuff. That's what it is. It's episodes. That might be why. So it's an 8-episode thing.
Series.
Yeah, but I'm down.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out, and if I'll also watch Last Airbender.
Yeah. Either way, if you think of something else we can watch, or you watch something over the next, and you're like, oh shit, this is cool, just text it to me, and then we'll talk about that.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. I haven't watched. I've been watching mostly YouTube documentaries, and I've just fallen down the rabbit hole. So.
Oh yeah, YouTube documentaries.
Yeah. Of just like the rise and fall of different celebrities, creators.
Oh, you get totally roped into that shit.
Oh yeah, man. It's like because it'll be like rappers one time, and then it'll be like this creator just talking about, like, I'll know who the creator is, but I just don't know the backstory. So they're going through telling how they got there and the point at which it started to fail, what was the incident that happened to cause the fall. And I find that stuff totally interesting.
I did watch a Sound Man the other night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I haven't watched one of his in a long time, and I sat there and watched that.
It's I every time I watch them, I have a good time most of the time. So I don't know why I don't.
Because it's the same show every week.
Yeah.
Or every time. It's the same show. Same show. Which is fine. I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which, at the end of the day, that's the key, right? Is
we should try to get him on. Because like talking to Doug in person on 12V Talk as like not
a good show
character, that was cool because you actually, like, I felt like, oh, okay, this is the real Doug, like,
yeah,
not Doug the character.
Yeah, no, that's just it. It's like he's another one that does really good as the character of Sound Man. Is this.
Yeah.
And it's always the same gags and things, oh, cut my finger,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I love that he's like, oh, this offends you? Guess what? I'm doing it more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like that. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the reality today, it just should be the life of Doug.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, it's basically like, I'm telling jokes, guys. Like, relax.
Yeah.
It's not meant to offend you. And if it did, then, well, oh, well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, he's ventured so far from the point of what he was doing.
Right, yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, I think that's what's nice about it. It's grown into something else. And it would be nice if he could capitalize on changing that.
Right.
But it's not. So kind of sucks.
There for a while, he was like you guys, but he was putting one out every day. It's like, oh.
Yeah, he tried that shit, and then he was like, "This is dumb."
He's like, nope. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's and there again, it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
The reality is that, like, even when Casey Neistat vlogged every day for like 2 years,
mm-hmm.
And he did great at it, and it was fantastic, and we all got to live the life of him for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's just not, you can't keep that up.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like, and especially like, Doug kind of does a lot of side work stuff, and he has products, so he does technically kind of have a day job besides just YouTube.
Right.
So he had shit like you that he has to get done throughout the day. Less, of course. But I mean, that's still just doing it only on YouTube. Like, if that's your only job, that's still untenable to me.
Yeah. Oh no, it is. It's an obscene amount of work that. Yeah. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, this is the end of the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and then joining us on our journey through whatever it is we just talked about.
Yeah. We will be talking more bullshit next week. Or maybe the week after.
Maybe not. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depends on how tired I am. More than likely, after getting 12 hours of sleep for 5 days, probably be pretty tired.
Probably be tired. I expect you to be tired. Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily for me, all the shit I have to do is like Sunday and Monday. So, like the stuff I really have to be on point for is Sunday and Monday. So, I have a Sunday class that I have to do that's going to be freaking huge. Right now, they're telling me there's like 250 people signed up for it.
Oof.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then we have another class that we're doing with another guy, a guy I've never met. That ought to be fun on Monday. So, but then I'm done. Other than just talking on with my, with the microphone.
Yeah.
Being MC Dean.
MC Beyett.
That's right. Crazy on the ones and twos. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful night.
See you next time.
Bye.